missed a perfect save.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
This is a no-hitter.
It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Marcy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect save.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
And what is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. A little bit of breaking news, an emergency episode, because the Dodgers have DFA'd outfielder Jason Heyward. And we are going to break it all the way down. What does this mean for the Dodgers? What will they do? Why did they do it? Who's going to be on the roster on Friday? So much to unpack for this one, because it comes as a shock and a surprise to a lot of Dodgers fans. But I'm here to tell you, this was the right move by the Dodgers. And we'll talk all about that, but I want all your takes. I want your reaction to the Dodgers DFAing Jason Heyward. We're going to break this one all the way down, but first and foremost, let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation from. Give me those cities, give me those zip codes, and give me your reaction. So I know this comes as a shock. Hey, man, remind me of Friday. Remind me of Craig. How do you get fired on your day off, right? The Dodgers have a day off, and you have Chris Taylor coming back. You have Miguel Rojas dealing with a hamstring injury. You could have IL'd him potentially. You could have kind of kicked this can down the road until you got to September when rosters expanded. But nope. What I always say, what must be done eventually should be done immediately. And the Dodgers, they decided to DFA Jason Heyward. So let's read your comments here. We got a lot to talk about, though, for sure. So we got Gotani from Alex Ramirez. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Comment Gotani down below so you're eligible for our next big giveaway. Once we hit 95K, we are giving away a brand new, authentic Road Gray Shohei Ohtani jersey. All you have to do is two things. One, subscribe to the channel, and two, comment Gotani down below. And then also, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the podcast as well. I'm going to start doing some podcast exclusives because you can only do audio in the clubhouse before games. So I'm going to try to track some guys down and do some audio-only player interviews there. So definitely be sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. We got Andy Gonzalez. CT should have been designated. Showtime says DMAC. JR, I felt they had more time. We're going to answer all these questions. We're going to dive deep into this one, guys. We're going to focus this whole show on what this means for the Dodgers roster. Philip Subia, unfortunately, the right choice was made. Yeah, baseball's a business, and it's a cruel business at that sometimes. And I think that is a big indication that, look, they realized what Jason Heyward was going to be for this team, and you couldn't have had a better final moment with the Dodgers. I mean, think about Jason Heyward's career. He hits a 3-run home run in his first at-bat in the show with the Braves, and then he hits a 3-run home run in what's going to be most likely his final at-bat with the Dodgers. Storybook ending for Jay Hay with L.A., but still, it just made a lot of sense. I'm going to tell you why in a second here, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first, though. Hello, D-Mac, Carmen, Alexander, Dustin, Dugan. Perfect timing, D-Mac. I was tired of working anyways. Give me a comment of the show for that one, Dustin. I hate this move. That's from Robert Gannon. We got Jeremy. They couldn't wait until the season was over. No, I mean, roster spots are precious, and you're going to get your questions answered here. I just want to see what you have to say. Go Tawny, Goat Mac. What up, Mr. G? Now Dodgers will have to deal with Chris Taylor bums. B690, Que Pasa. What's up, man? We got Brian Martin. J. Hay getting DFA is absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Gonzalez says Freddie is going to be heartbroken. Hey, Freddie Freeman's professional. He understands baseball as a business. I'm sure that he's definitely down today because that's his best friend. They're not just friends, that's his best friend. And it just tells you that this Dodgers team, they're not messing around. And I think that it shows you that it's a different version of the Dodgers, the way they're operating right now. Teardrop says, D-Mac changed that intro song. What do you mean? We're from L.A. Not a good move. We got front office ain't playing around with this lineup anymore. Exactly. That's from Dorlander Davis. So let's get into it. Keep firing away with your comments. Look for those comments of the show. As always, you got Bakersfield from August, Dodgers fans from Kenya. What's up, Harry? Cypress, California. What's up, Randy? Andrew Taylor's versatility makes him the winner over Jason Heyward. So yeah, definitely a lot of upset Dodgers fans about this, but also I think there's some that see the vision. They see the reason why they did this. BC in the chat, DMAC, DFA Bueller, not Heyward from Big Joe. Terry says Randy Rosarena likes tortas, but not the ones you eat. Okay, Terry, relax there. First of all, I think our friend Randy Rosarena, he was just mad and bitter because the Dodgers didn't trade for him yesterday. And hey, that really came home to him yesterday when Jack Flaherty's got 2 strikes on you, hits him with a 91-mile-per-hour sinker on the shoulder, and Randy Rosarena took exception to that. But I think it's just because he's out there struggling in Seattle. He's not sleepless in Seattle. He's struggling in Seattle. And he's now with his Dodgers team that has the best record in baseball where things are looking up. That's for sure. But let's dive into this one, guys, because it's Thursday, no Dodger baseball, but definitely some Dodgers news. And Jason Heyward, who is one of the most respected guys in that clubhouse, one of the players that absolutely is one of the biggest reasons why you have stability with as far as his ability to be a conduit for Dave Roberts, talking to younger players and just his leadership. And he's a veteran, and make no mistake about it, he's a veteran. But let's rewind a little bit. Yesterday, after the game, I asked Dave Roberts about Kevin Kiermaier, and Kevin Kiermaier continues to make his case to stay on this roster permanently, even when everyone's completely healthy, because Kevin Kiermaier has continued to not only be excellent defensively. Kevin Kiermaier is the best outfield I've ever seen for the Dodgers. 2020 Cody Bellinger was good, was great at times. Kevin Kiermaier clears that. Kevin Kiermaier is elite in every sense of the word as a defender. Every sense of the word as far as his ability to track down balls and play balls off the wall and play balls off the carom and the throws, the fluidity, the speed, the agility, the routes, the angles. Kevin Kiermaier has every single thing in his bag to play center field at an elite level. And he's done it for years. He's a 4-time Gold Glove Award winner. But seeing it with your own eyes on your own team that you follow really changes your perspective. And not only has he played excellent defense, Kevin Kiermaier has improved as a hitter with the Dodgers. Kevin Kiermaier's batting average with Toronto this season when they traded for him was at 195. It's already up to 243. The on base from 236 up to 282. But the slug is the number that's really had a big uptick. The slug has gone from 310 to 405, and the OPS from 546 to 687. He's now 8% below league average offensively at a 92 OPS plus compared to a 54 OPS plus when he's with the Blue Jays. Yes, those aren't elite offensive numbers, but when you combine what he can do with his glove, with a bat that isn't terrible, with the ability to have him as a late-game substitution defensively, if you need Tommy Edman to play shortstop, if Miguel Rojas potentially gets injured, you have a Gold Glove, Platinum Glove level center fielder. And that was too hard for the Dodgers to pass up based on how he's performed. I asked Dave Roberts after the game yesterday how big of an impression he was making on this team and what he needed to do to stick and how big of a case he was making to stay on this roster even when everyone was healthy.
Dave, how big of an impression has Kevin Kiermaier made?
He's been great. In all the field, defense, obviously you see that. the tough at-bats, the grindy at-bats. He doesn't mind being in the 9-hole, understands his role, impacting Gavin and other guys, how they play, run the bases. Those things are tangible things. And so he's a veteran player, and I don't know, I heard earlier that he was contemplating retiring after this year. So this is the guy that, he's emptying the tank. And so there's a refound joy, energy, and it's affecting all of our guys.
And how much of a push is he making to stick on this roster even when everyone's healthy?
He's making a very good case. So obviously CT's coming back, so we still got talk through the off day and see how things are going to play out. And this roster going to look on the position player side a little different on Friday. Thanks, guys.
So he said it right there. This roster is going to look very different on Friday. And after I posted that on the X, everyone was freaking out thinking that they were choosing Chris Taylor over Kevin Kiermaier. The truth of the matter is, though, they were choosing Kevin Kiermaier over Jason Heyward. And I see here down below in the comments section, J-Hay was probably the best pinch hitter the Dodgers had. Alex Renteria, as left-handed bat, you could certainly make that case. But the truth of the matter is, if you look at his numbers, he signed a 1-year, $9 million contract to get back with the Dodgers last offseason, and the Dodgers owe him around $1.8 million for the remainder of the year. And last season, it was a fantastic resurgent season for J-Hay. He slashed .269, .340, had a .473 slugging percentage, a 120 weighted runs created plus, so he was 20% above league average offensively. He also had 90+% of his plate appearances against right-handed pitchers. So that is where he has success, against righties. And then coming into this season, he dealt with some injuries. The numbers were down. That .269 batting average dropped to .208. The on base went from .340 to .289. And the slugging went down pretty dramatically from .473 to .393. And the weighted runs created plus went from 120 to 91. So he was at one point 20% above league average last year, down to 9% below league average this year. And when you consider the season that he was having, when you consider the money that they owed him, and you also consider that Mookie Betts went back to right field. I told you a couple weeks ago, the second that the decision was made to put Mookie Betts back in right field, that was going to lock up those corner spots. Teo in left, Mookie in right. Now, with the center field spot, you traded for Tommy Edman, who is going to be your primary center fielder, and then Kevin Kiermaier, he changed the calculus with his performance. He killed the audition, right? They didn't necessarily expect him to do that, probably. They thought there was a chance. That's why they traded for him. But he has killed that audition, and he has earned his spot on this roster. He can help this team win a World Series. He's additive, right? He helps this team. Whereas Jason Heyward, you look at the role he has. And the fact that you're not going to be playing him in right field because Mookie's there. You're not going to be playing him in center field very much because you have Tommy Edman there and Kevin Kiermaier. And then also as a pinch hitter, if you do pinch hit with him, who are you going to pinch hit for? That's Miguel Rojas, right? If you pinch hit him for Miguel Rojas, well, it's not like you can go play shortstop. You have to make 2 switches. So that is, I think, the big reason why they ultimately made this decision, which is because he didn't have the optionality that other players have. Kike can play infield and outfield. The bat's been better since he changed the glasses. And yes, the numbers have dipped a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but still, we know what he's capable of in the postseason. You're not going to cut Kike Hernandez at this point. Chris Taylor, yes, offensively, this has been a down year, but there's a couple things about Chris Taylor. He has performed well in the time leading up to his injury. And I think with Chris Taylor, it's a matter of, okay, let's see if there's still life in that bat. Let's see if he can still find it and be a part of this team. Because Chris Taylor, he was, like I said, starting to perform well. And if you look at his numbers since the beginning of June and the last couple of months, I mean, he had a 121 rated runs created plus. That weighted runs created plus was 21% above league average. If you look at the OPS last couple of months, I mean, since June 14th, Chris Taylor, from June 14th to July 24th, CT was hitting .250 with a .372 on base and a .458 slug and an .830 OPS. Those are decent numbers. And Chris Taylor, a lot like Kike Hernandez, does have a track record of performing well in the postseason. So you combine those things, And you combine the fact that you still owe Chris Taylor under $20 million at this point because he's still under contract for next year and the remainder of this season. Money talks, history talks, and this is the true fact that the versatility talks. Chris Taylor, you can throw him in the outfield. You can throw him in the infield. He's the Chris Army knife, right? That's what I dubbed him, and that's what he does. So J-Hay, he didn't have the versatility they needed. The production just wasn't enough this season. And like I said, it's just definitely a little more sad and a tougher pill to swallow because he did hit that go-ahead 3-run home run in his last game with the Dodgers. So what a way to go out. I mean, think about this. J-Hay, 3-run bomb to end his career potentially, 3-run bomb to begin his career potentially. But I do think that there's a pretty decent chance that he's going to get picked up by another team. So when you DFA a player, you either have to trade that player, release him, or put him on waivers. If that player clears waivers, you can be released or outrighted. And J-Hay, he's got more than 3 years of service, so he can elect not to go and accept a minor league assignment, and he can test those free agent waters. We saw Brent Honeywell back with the organization. I don't think there's a pretty high probability that Jason Heyward is going to just clear waivers and accept a minor league assignment and then get called back up on September 1st when the rosters expand. That's certainly a possibility. In that case, though, do you want to give Andy Pages potentially another opportunity? So that's definitely a decision they'll have to face. And the truth of the matter is with Jason Heyward is, look, there's going to be a lot of contenders out there that are going to be looking to upgrade. And Jason Heyward in the right situation can certainly help a team. Against righties this year, J-Hay hitting .265, slugging .432 with a 114 weighted runs created plus. So that is where you can help a team. A left-handed hitter off the bench that's above average against righties, that plays above average corner outfield defense, that can also play center field as well. But the truth of the matter is for the Dodgers, he wasn't as complete of a hitter as you need because he has a 78 weighted runs created plus, hitting .231 against lefties for his career. So you weren't going to see him against lefties, obviously. And against righties, the lack of positional versatility limited your options. So we'll see who picks him up. I mean, could a team like the Braves, who is going to pick up a Jason Heyward? It's certainly going to be very, very interesting to see what they do. And look, I will say this. With Chris Taylor, it's a numbers game, guys. It's a money game. Money talks. If this was Chris Taylor's last year and Chris Taylor didn't have that nice stretch that we just talked about before he got injured, yeah, maybe it's Chris Taylor who gets DFA in this situation. But you have Chris Taylor for a whole nother year. He's not a player that is going to be traded. No team's going to absorb the remainder of that salary, so you're not going to be able to do that to get rid of Chris Taylor. And look, I can tell you that this organization still thinks that Chris Taylor can help this team. This team is not doing anyone favors here, okay? And I think that you should really be proud of the way this Dodgers team is operating. I think that they're not letting the emotions dictate things. They're not letting Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, who love Jason Heyward, say, hey, we want our guy on our team. Let's get our best friends and play with them. No, that's not the case here, right? It's not what LeBron James does to the Lakers, right? The Dodgers, they run the show here. Andrew Friedman runs the show here. And this is another prime example of that. That's why they're a better organization than a lot of teams out there, because they're making the right moves. And I can tell you this is 100% the right move if you want to play by the rules. Because, yes, the phantom IL is always a thing. And you can leave some water by his locker, leave a banana pill, and he slips a little bit, and he tweaks something, you send him to the IL. But, look, that's a disservice to Jason Heyward if you're ultimately not going to include him. So I think that you're kind of doing right by Jason Heyward, too, to say, you know what, we're not going to kick down the can down the road and go up to you and tell you to fake an injury when you could have an opportunity to potentially play and end your career somewhere else as a playoff contender. So I think that's something you have to consider as well, is that the Dodgers, when they're making moves like this, they do want to do right by the player. And the Dodgers have a really good reputation around this league for doing things just like that. I mean, the Rosario situation, he was miserable here. He was gone. So I think that for Chris Taylor, let's see how he performs, because I still have a feeling that Chris Taylor is going to be able to help this team. I really, really do. I mean, I think people forget how good he was starting to look at the plate before he got injured. But we'll keep diving into this one. Some more some more. Doug endorses anything the Dodgers do. Johnny Owen, that's not true at all. Because if the Dodgers had kept Jason Heyward just because it was Freddie Freeman's best friend or because he had a home run tonight, I would be upset about it. If the Dodgers didn't keep Kevin Kiermaier, I'd be furious about it, right? I've been furious about moves that they made in the past. So I don't know how long you've been watching the show, but to say that I endorse everything the Dodgers do is just simply not true at all. I mean, that's just not the case. JK was a clutch playoff bat. I mean, the thing about Jason Heyward, though, I mean, what opportunities is he going to get? Maybe 1, 2 at bats. If this Dodgers team that added Shohei Ohtani, has Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, all this offensive talent, I mean, with Max Muncy, they're a totally different team. You have a Gavin Lux that has somehow, some way gone from one of the worst hitters in the league to one of the best this season. If they're relying on a Jason Heyward pinch hit clutch bat in the postseason, this team wasn't going to go far in the first place. But in the postseason, yeah, as far as his mental and his leadership and everything he brings from that standpoint, it's certainly additive. But in his career, Jason Heyward in the postseason, 9 years, 12 series, 43 games, he's 20 for 135 with a 148 batting average and a 444 OPS. So it's not like has his postseason track record of being a absolutely elite postseason hitter for sure. We got Kenny Chung. Don't get bamboozled thinking that CT161 has fixed anything about his busted ass swing. Same as Bueller saying that he's close. Yeah, close to letting the door hit you in the on the way out. But here's the thing, Kenny Chung. Here's the thing. People are forgetting about Andy Pages in this equation. Okay, I'm still a firm believer that Andy Pages deserves an opportunity to make this postseason roster. I hope he gets called up in September to show what he can do, because I think that he has the potential to be a very, very effective bat off the bench. So I think that too. So I think that you could also be entering that in the equation. Outman, people talk about Outman. Outman just really struggled against big league pitching this year. Not close to being as good of a center fielder as Kiermaier, although he's definitely good for sure. Okay, D-Mac, you got me swing to CT3. What's up, William, over on the X? JG, J-Hay should have stood with the boys, should have put him on the IL. So that's the thing, too. If you throw him on the IL, and another thing, too, the Dodgers could have done is you could have put Miguel Rojas on the IL for 10 days. That would have got you to September 1st, and then the rosters expand, and they could have Jason Heyward not worry about it. But Rojas, the hamstring injury, from what I've been told, is nothing serious. He wants to play, and the Dodgers, they're in a pennant race. They want to put their best team out there. And Rojas right now, the way he continues to hit, how can you, in the way his glove is elite, he needs to be out there if he can play. So I think that is something as well. And I think that it's just, look, a lot can happen at this point as far as the roster goes from here up until October. But I certainly think that Heyward could find himself on a postseason roster. Would the Braves bring him back? Who knows? I mean, certainly, does he want to continue to play? Does he want to retire? I think he still has something left in the tank. He's 35. But, hey, when the rosters expand, I need to see Andy Pages get another opportunity. And Heyward's role was just too limited with Mookie Betts in right field and Kevin Kiermaier as a superior defender in center field. So numbers game, a role game. This 100% was the right decision as far as the baseball move. And there's no slight to Jason Heyward. I love Jason Heyward. I truly do. I've had a lot of talks with him. I've interviewed him multiple times. Great, just a great guy. A1, an A-plus guy, 10 out of 10. But it's just a numbers game, and the fact that as a platoon guy, sure, it makes a lot of sense. Mookie's in right, Teo's in left, and you got superior center fielders that do what they need him to do as a bat. And, yeah, I think that it's a tough day because you hate to lose anyone, for sure. But I think this is the first of a real indication from this Dodgers organization that they're not playing favorites, man. They're out to win it. And I think they did what they had to do. But let's get into these comments, guys. No, say it ain't so, Jay. Hey, we got that's from Mayo over on YouTube. Keeping Taylor proves the Dodgers aren't serious about winning. D-backs 8, Mad Bum's contract. That's from BC. It just depends how you look at it, BC. You know, I always respect your opinion. I'm not denying that. But I think with Chris Taylor and this roster as a whole, let's see what Chris Taylor can do. Let's see what Chris Taylor can do when he returns. And look, there's no guarantee that he makes this roster if he struggles down the stretch as well. But I still think that internally, look, he's found some things in his swing that he's had enough success to say, wait a minute, if Chris Taylor gets hot in October, we saw what happened in 2021. Ock Taylor was a thing. 3 home runs against the Braves. The wild card walk-off against the Cardinals. And Chris Taylor, I just read you Jason Heyward's postseason stats and what he's done in the postseason. Chris Taylor, 7 years, 16 series in the postseason, an 805 OPS. An 805 OPS for Chris Taylor in the postseason. He has 9 postseason home runs, 13 postseason doubles. I've had this conversation with CT3 in the past about how some guys are just different in the postseason. And I asked him if that's a thing. He says it absolutely is a thing. He said you can stand next to a guy in the postseason and kind of just feel if they're ready for that moment, if that heartbeat is slow enough. And Chris Taylor has certainly proven in the past that he can provide offense in the postseason. And even last year, during that NLDS series where the Dodgers got swept and Mookie and Freddie, they were struggling and you just really couldn't get anything going, still had some hits. I mean, he had a double in the postseason, had an RBI in just 6 at-bats. So I'm a big believer in this move. I really do. Heyward is a better player. That's from Shane Baker. You can make that case that overall he's a better player in a better situation for him, but just the opportunity is not there. Bet your life savings on it, Doug. BC, hey, man, I need that $30. Okay, so no, I was playing with you. But Rosario was miserable here. I mean, yeah, he wasn't happy with his role, and I mean, twice he just wasn't going to be a part of this team. Eduardo, where is the lefty on the bench now? I mean, it kind of depends on how you kind of look at it. And yes, they don't have the best bench bat. There's no doubt about that. You definitely benefit from having a player in a situation that go up there against right-handed pitcher and run into one. But like I said, I mean, you're kind of picking defensive versatility and optionality versus someone that plays a role that you're only going to possibly need a handful of times in the course of a postseason run. And look, Kevin Kiermaier, sure, his hit tool is not elite, but I mean, the way he said himself, the Dodgers have pumped life into him, and you still have guys on this team that you can really trust to go up there and provide a ton of offense. I mean, Max Muncy, this team is averaging over 5 runs per game with Max Muncy and less than 5 without. This offense, I think, has the ability to get out and jump on teams. I mean, you go up against a Seattle team that was putting together a really nice run there. That's postseason level pitching, and you take all 3 and you find a way to win those games. And then it's about defensive substitutions later in games when you have a lead. So we got Gavin Deluxe is a stud. That's from Elishiva Jones. Jose Aguirre. Chat doesn't understand anything. I swear CT3 is under contract and they don't want to eat the money, so they're going to use him and not like that. It's not just that, though. I agree. You definitely make a good point, though. I'll give you a fire take for that. But I will say BC 77 batting average for CT last 2 postseasons. You're not going to I'm not going to battle you there. But we got but to kind of get back to your point, though, it's not just that. I mean, if the Dodgers they ate the money with Trevor Bauer, right? I mean, if they needed to eat money, they would. That's not an issue with this team. It's about a little bit about the money. It's about them thinking that they want the options and they want the player. They think they can help them. I mean, that just remains to be seen. We'll find out. We will find out if that is going to come to fruition or not. Pajes is bad on the field from Elishiva Jones. Bilal K, I agree with you on the Pajes take. D-Mac, Paul Vaughn, CT3 will get better. Rosemary Rodriguez, won't MLB interfere on IL stints? Yeah, I mean, fire take. Because that definitely is something that you don't want to mess with. You saw what happened with Billy Epler. You just can't go that route as much. At some point, if you are continuing to phantom IL guys, you're going to get burned. But why DFA anybody at all? That's from IVO. We got Lux fielding okay at second base. Icy Glazer over on YouTube. Look, I was talking about that yesterday. It's almost like, hey, man, he was living on his defense when the bat was bad, and then you're starting to see some errors, some misplays. He'll be okay. He's going to be fine. But you've seen it recently, though. What's up, D-Mac? What's up, Dodgers Nation? What's up, Daniel Clark? How we doing? We got Jose Savarita. What if the Dodgers offered Jay-Hay to go on the IL and he didn't want that? Jose? Hey, all those things are very possible. The thing I will say is they've been extremely upfront with a lot of their players as far as communicating their roles on this team. They're very transparent, and I'm sure it was a difficult conversation with Jason Heyward, but I don't think that he was too surprised by it based on the numbers and how the roster was going to ultimately look. I'm sure it hurt. I'm sure it was painful to have that conversation, but I definitely think that certainly is the case. I got someone asking me, is it Mike M. do a postseason roster breakdown right now? So I would say, well, let's read this one too. I'll get back to that. Jacob G. Let's read like 10 comments in a row because you guys are firing away. Breaking news: Mariners fire their manager. Yeah, I saw that, man. The Dodgers put someone out of a job. So yeah, that was definitely very interesting to see that today. And you got a firing here. Scott Service, thank you for your service. That's what the Mariners told him. Jay Hay sends a message. Does $34 million to Mad Bum from BC. LA, about time they got rid of Heyward. Christian L, can you do a way too early postseason lineup and rotation? So I would say right now you're looking at the 13 spots. The way that I see it, it's Shohei Ohtani, I think, has a really good chance of making this roster. I think that the 40-40 could be 50-50 MVP. I think it's safe to say Shohei Ohtani is on this roster. Of course, I'm going to get myself a bruh for that. But you got Shohei, you got Mookie, you got Freddie, you got Teo, you got Muncy, you got Smitty, you got Lux, you got Miggy Rowe, you got Tommy Edman, and that's your 9. You're at 9 right there. Next spot, of course, goes to Austin Barnes. He's your backup catcher. You're at 10. Then Kike Hernandez, by all indications, everything that Dave Roberts has said, the way he's performed, he's going to go to a bench role, a versatile role. So you got Kike Hernandez. And then you're at 11. So you got 2 spots. Kevin Kiermaier. I've said it before. I say it again. Based on what I talked to about with Dave Roberts, it feels like everything's trending towards, if he keeps this pace up, if he continues to impact the game with his defense, I don't see how you could leave an impact glove off your postseason roster. Defense matters so much. It weighs so heavily in the postseason. Just ask 2020 Cody Bellinger, who robbed Fernando Tatis Jr. of his lunch money. Just ask Chris Taylor 2018 against the Brewers. Just ask Mookie Betts 2020 NLCS, all the game-changing plays. Defense matters in the postseason. So I got Kevin Kiermaier. Then that last spot, Chris Taylor or Andy Pages. We'll see if Andy Pages gets another opportunity to show what he can do. If he can rake, he can play outfield, but he can't play in the infield. I do think there's some redundancy with Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez. We really do not need both of them. You don't need both of them, but track record-wise, does feel like Chris Taylor has the inside track right now, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of Andy Pages because this team has made some bold moves. Also, I mean, who knows? Who knows what they'll do? Who knows what they'll do from here into the postseason roster crunch and the September call-ups and everything that is involved with that. But I will say something. I mean, I would say something. What if they go? What if Dalton Rushing gets in the mix? You guys want a lefty bat? Dalton Rushing is killing it down there. Dalton Rushing. We saw what they did with Gavin Lux in 2019 when he was called up, and then he hits a home run against the Nationals in the NLDS. Who knows? Just throwing it out there. Well, just throwing it out there. I would not rule it out, and I would definitely embrace it as a possibility if you want to be a little versatile there and see what he can do. But I think right now you're kind of going with vets. But here we go. Pa is not good enough to offset defensive liabilities from John over on Facebook. Yeah, you're definitely onto something there. Defense matters with this organization for sure, but the same token, you had Mookie Betts playing at shortstop the entire year before he was injured, and if you can make up for it with the bat, they're going to look at the net benefits of what you can do. So a couple more here, guys. Best Dodgers center fielder I ever saw was Willie Davis until seeing Kevin Kiermaier. Yeah, Willie Davis, we talked about him in our top center fielders of all time. Just an unbelievable player, Gold Glove Award winner, All-Star, and just incredible talent for sure. Kiermaier has a rocket for an arm. Ellis Shiva Jones. D-Mac, Randy was being salty last night because he ain't a Dodger. Yeah, exactly. We can fire take for that one. Big Joe. Bilal K, what if Bigfoot buys your company tomorrow? The F is going on from Carlos. We got this move was the worst our team could do at this stage from Drew D. Bring back JD Drew from 818. Drew D and everyone we signed is nothing compared to Jay Hay. That's from Drew D. So some upset Dodgers fans not happy about this move. Hope he signs with the Cubs from El Rojas. Hey, man, Cubs fans, that $184 million contract, some feels worse in franchise history. I mean, he only had 1 year above average there. Shohei's on the fence. Yeah, talking about his roster spot. Drew D, anybody catch the ball for an out, give me a good bat. That's from Drew B. Doom_Sal, Paz is so bad. He threw a runner out at home plate, went 2 for 4 in RBI, and crushed a ball over the wall last night. So I think you mean bad isn't good. Dodgers killed Scott Service's managerial career. Yeah, thanks for your services, Mr. Scott Service. And, I'm going to give the Dodgers the Dodger Dog of the Week. We got Will Ohtani pitch this season. No, he will not. I can tell you that Shohei Ohtani, under no circumstances, will be on the mound for the Dodgers. I mean, think about that. I mean, even if it was in the postseason, we're really going to throw him out there. You're really going to throw him out there in the World Series? Come on. And honestly, Brandon Combs did an interview with Bill Plunkett of the Southern California News Group, and Brandon Combs was asked this question, and he said, quote, he's not pitching for us this year. He's not. So he also went on to say, we've got a lot of good pitchers. There's no world where he's pitching for us this postseason. So slam the door shut, turn the lights off. You can go home. That ain't happening. But next year we'll get our shot to see Shohei on the mound. But a couple more here, guys. We got Fragile Freeman needed Jay Hay the way Clint. Okay, Perry. My man Clint's the man. I love my boy. David McClain, D-Mac, who do you see swooping on Heyward? I say Padres normally, but they don't need outfielders. What's up, Dan McClain? Rocking with us from Australia. I love it. You get to watch the Giant season go down the drain in reverse, down the toilet over in Australia. But thanks for rocking with us as always, my man. What's up, D-Mac? Just tuning in. Heyward DFA'd. What? That's from Claudia over on YouTube. Roberts is talking about DFA Roberts. Yes to rushing from Bilal K. D-Mac, I will only believe that management has finally seen the light if Buehler has seen his last start this season. That's from BL Boyd. Hey, he's got a big, tough, tall task going against that Orioles team at home next week. And if he gets pummeled in that one, could be his last start as a Dodger. Just full stop, end of story. That's just how it is. Bilal K. rushing will be needed next season. Keith Potter, the corner outfield spots are taken by some okay players, and Pages is not a center fielder at all. Yeah, exactly, Keith. Those are some pretty solid players out there in Teo and Marcus Lynn Betts. D-Mac, let's get a finish him for Scott Service. You want to finish him on request? I got you, man. Whatever you want, I got you, man.
Finish him.
There you go. Where's my Mortal Kombat players out there? Who's your favorite player to play with? Philip Fountain, what's up, my man? Wouldn't rushing have to be on the roster by September 1st? Yes, that is the rule. Great pointing out. If you want to be eligible for postseason play, you have to be on that roster by September 1st, and that is certainly what would have to happen. It does. The whole September. That's probably why. Another reason why you want to get Chris Taylor back there as soon as possible, to get a larger sample size, to give him more time to prove that he deserves a spot on this roster. And, hey, it'll be very emotional for Dodgers fans if he's not on this team or Kike Hernandez, right? But I do think that there is some redundancy there. I truly, truly do, and we'll see. My whole thing is, look, Dave Roberts, a couple weeks ago, forgot what I asked him, but one thing he said was the best players will play. And if that's truly the case, you guys know this team well enough. You watch this team every day. We are going to know if they're being true to that. Are they truly going to pick the best players on the fringes of that roster? And that's why I think that this is the most compelling end of a season that we've seen in forever. Even 2021, when they were chasing the Giants, there was not this many roster battles within. It's the Dodgers versus the Phillies for the best record. It's the Dodgers versus the Diamondbacks and Padres for the West. But I think the most interesting battle is the Dodgers versus the Dodgers. Whether it be on the pitching side, making it into this bullpen, making it in this rotation as the fourth starter, or the fringes of this roster as well. We got, anytime we talk about DFA, Buehler's name is on the top of that list from Carl D-Mac. You like Pink Floyd? Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Pink Floyd goes hard. The Wall, man, it's classic stuff. Comfortably Numb. Drew B. J-Hay is better than Edmonds, CT3, Outman, and Pajes. Bad moves, BC. Ryan Wardo is killing it in AAA OKC. Big left-handed bat. It's another good point. I like that. I love it. He's a Dodger dog for sure. LA, D-Mac, you really think our pitching is good enough to get us through the playoffs? My answer to that? Ask me in a couple weeks. Ask me when we actually do see Yoshinobu Yamamoto back on the mound. Ask me when we do see the return of Tyler Glasnow. I think that Jack Flaherty has been really good, but we haven't seen the great version of Jack Flaherty yet. He's only gone 6 innings once. He did have the 10 strikeouts against the Pirates, but I think that he has another gear that he can hit. And he said as much after the game yesterday that this is not the best version of himself. So I'm holding out to see that version of Jack Flaherty, but definitely think that Gavin Stone and Clayton Kershaw are trending in the right direction. I think that the bullpen is trending in the right direction. Ryan Brazier, he looks good in his return. Brusdar Graterol, after what looked like a season-ending grade 3 hamstring injury, looked like he was crying as he was being helped off the mound. It was actually downgraded to a grade 1, and they said that he's already throwing bullpen sessions and that he's making his way back. So that's definitely a promising sight too. Tryon didn't look good in his return, but I still think he is a massive high leverage reliever. Evan Phillips has gotten it together, and you've also found Michael Kopech, who is a fireballer, flamethrower that this team needed. So yeah, and Joe Kelly I still think has stuff. I know Joe Kelly's polarizing, but the spin rate, the horizontal movement, the velocity is there. I certainly think this team, as far as the pitching goes, they have the potential to be the best rotation in the postseason that we've seen in this run. That's just the truth. I mean, 2020, you had a different version of Buehler. But still, I mean, the top-end talent, you got 2 top 5 to 10 pitchers in Tyler Glasnow, and Jack Flaherty has pitched on the top 5 level this season, and then Gavin Stone's broken out this year, and Clayton Kershaw, all he knows how to do is pitch effectively. So I definitely think this has the potential to be the best starting rotation that we've seen in a long, long time, possibly in this entire 11-year run, and I'm definitely saying that. So a couple more comments, guys. We're going to be back a little later. We're going to do some more topics, but this one's just about Jason Heyward. What's up, El Rojas? Always appreciate you over on YouTube. Give you a fire tip. You're killing it too, my man. Re-sign Jack Flaherty. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Dodgers Dugout Live. We're going to spend some time talking about re-signing Jack Flaherty because I like that idea. I think I'm on board with it. D-Mac, do you think the Dodgers will re-sign Flaherty from David Herrera? Look, this is an audition, and I will say this. I think Jack Flaherty loves being a Dodger. I mean, I loved him. He wanted all the smoke from Randy Arozarena. And I loved how all of his teammates, they came on the field, the bullpen's emptied, and hey, what a coincidence. The offense went off after that. So I like that edge, man. I like that dog. It means a lot to me. I know there's no statistic for it, but you know it when you see it. Jack Flaherty got that dog in him.
Dodger dog of the game.
So a couple more here, guys. Keep firing away. Welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live emergency episode. The Dodgers DFA Jason Heyward, William Calderon, D-Mac. I think Edmonds' intro, Blue World by Mac Miller, needs to be your show loading music. I like that. I don't think I can afford the rights for that, my man. But that is fire, though. I also, too, like how Dieter Roll, if you notice this, when Tommy Edman makes a play, they play the Walrus with the Beatles song, and it's like, I am the Eggman, I am the Edmund. I see what. Hey, I know your game. Dieterol. You're on top of things. I see the Easter eggs. 3 straight years costing this team. A super chat here. A $2 super chat. CT3 is hitting 167. By the way, guys, we are definitely getting in on a Discord. So, going to join the special Discord where I'm going to be at the stadium giving you guys info and nuggets, lineups, everything I'm hearing, things like that at the stadium. So more information on that, but stay tuned for the Discord that is going to be launching very, very soon. We got Adrian. I read an article the Dodgers are going after Shane Bieber this offseason. I'm for it. Are you? I think that he could be if it's a bet on yourself type 1-year deal, kind of like we saw with Syndergaard, who was a bust, but Paxton 8 innings. And look, I think it could be one of those deals. A bet on yourself, kind of get back on track, reestablish your market, that kind of move. I absolutely would be for it potentially because it doesn't feel like right now Roki Sasaki is happening as of right now. That could change, but as of right now, and I'm still kind of digging into that one, trying to communicate with some Japanese reporters. So I'll get back to you guys as soon as I hear anything. We got, don't forget Vesia. Yeah, Vesia has been lights out. Anthony Bonda has been lights out. For the most part, he's had his moments. Anthony Bonda's a hilarious guy, Ben. I won't say who it was, but yesterday in the clubhouse, there was a reporter walking around, and they were walking towards Max Muncy to do his post-game scrum, and Anthony Bonda starts screaming, you stepped on my toe, and everyone thought he was in pain and stuff, but really, the reporter didn't step on his toe, and he was just messing around, so thought that was hilarious. Anthony Bonda is a funny character, man. Gonna try to get him on this show. Jay Hay got on the field. D-Mac, just take over for Dave Roberts, bro, ASAP. Vesia has the lowest ERA on the Dodgers. Yeah, this has been his best year as a reliever. The command's been better. The life on the fastball is great. D-Mac loves tortas. Dylan McKay. Hey, when I'm starving, nothing hits like a torta and a Mexican Coca-Cola in the bottle. Dude, fire. Love me some tortas. Dodger Stadium organist is top tier. 199 from Cool Rips. Go Tani. Dieter's the best organist. How's your Japanese? I'm working on it. I got the Duolingo. I'm getting ready for my trip next year. Dylan McKay, 199 D-Mac. Have you had your torta today? Not yet. I'm going to crush one later, though, for sure. I probably have one for dinner, man. Got this good spot by my pad. Blake. We got Bob Mankiel. Did he tell us? No. Gotcha, Cookie. Why did they DFA Jason Heyward? He was good. Blake's my guy, by the way. We got, absolutely LA. But that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Also, tune in tomorrow, Dodgers Dugout Live, and then tomorrow, following the game, post-game show. So lots happening here at Dodgers Nation. We are gearing up for that postseason run. Philip Subia, appreciate you. Do some walk-off shots here. Michael Billigan saying Beeler goes Lance Lynn 2.0. By the way, Lance Lynn just gave up another home run, but give myself a bro for that one. We got to retire that one at some point for sure. Ellis Shiva-Jones coming in hot at the end. Landon Ack for starting rotation for the postseason, but that is going to do it, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, if you haven't yet, comment Go Tani. I want you guys to win that jersey. More giveaways on the way, so stay tuned here, Dodgers Nation. And also follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.